Hello readers, hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday. The new year is almost here and I figured I'd just finish up my wrap-ups, and we're doing November. Yes, that's right, I said November. I think I'm starting to lose a little bit of steam here, but I'm hoping to come back refreshed and renewed in 2019. But that being said, I also feel like I was dreading my November wrap-up because I only read 2 things and I'm not sure I have that much to say about them. The first book was a reread that I did of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, but I actually read the illustrated version, so it was a new experience. It was kind of awesome. I did it as a buddy read with Heather from the Happy Booktuber, and we have a playlist where we were kind of going back and forth and vlogging while we were reading and asking each other questions and just sharing some of the thoughts that we had while we were both rereading the illustrated version. I can't imagine that there's too much that hasn't already been said about Harry Potter, but if you haven't checked out the illustrated versions yet, I highly recommend them. They are gorgeous. Gorgeous. Reading it for a second time, using the illustrated versions really made it feel like a completely new experience, and there was so much detail that I had forgotten about the story, especially in regards to how Ron, Hermione, and Harry become friends, stuff like that, and it was great. My rating for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone has not changed. I still give it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Heather and I will actually be doing another buddy read sometime in 2019. We're going to be reading the Qatar Series by Sarah J. Maas, and we're going to again kind of be going back and forth with our commentary and making videos based on that. We're going to be doing it a little bit differently than we did the Harry Potter one, but if that was something that interested you, if you watched it and you liked it, then definitely go subscribe to her channel and be sure to subscribe to this one. The other book I finished in November was The Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, and I feel like I need to reread it before I can rate it or really say how I feel about it. I purchased the Strange the Dreamer duology from Illumicrate earlier this year, and so that's where I got the hardcover from. It has, I think, gold edges, which is pretty awesome. But the reason I feel like I need to reread it is because I also purchased the audiobook, and I read that with my husband, who is great at processing audiobooks. I, on the other hand, get a little bit distracted, and so we ended up listening to it more than I was reading along, and so I feel like I just didn't take everything in as well as I would have had I just read it straight. So even though I don't know exactly how I feel about it, I will give you guys some initial thoughts, and one is that I didn't love it as much as I love Strange the Dreamer. Strange the Dreamer will forever be like up there as one of the best books I've ever read, and I didn't quite feel that way about Muse of Nightmares, but again, I want to give it another try. Muse of Nightmares also introduced a lot of new characters, a few of which I kind of didn't care about as I was reading the book, so I think that impacted things. You know, those characters are important to the entire story, but I also want to say here, though, that the biggest reason I want to reread it is because I feel like my feelings about it are really based on where my head was at while I was reading it and the things that I didn't process and how detached I was from the story. So I think if I absorb it the usual way of just like reading it and maybe listening to the audiobook at the same time, that I'll feel a lot more immersed, and I have a feeling that I'm going to feel differently about it. Alright, so that's my super late, super short November wrap up. Just want to let you guys know that the next video I'll be putting out will be a shelf mastery video where I start talking about the rules that I plan to adopt in 2019 for making sure that I get my TBR under control. I'll also likely be doing a video where I review my 2018 resolutions and see how well I tackled them, and also talk about what the 2019 goals will be for my YouTube channel. If any of that sounds interesting to you, please be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.